So I'm like watching all these different YouTubers, and they're able to like tell all these really fun stories, and I just love watching them, and I always have a lot of fun stories that I love telling my friends. So today I am just going to ignore the 85-degree weather outside, bask in the ambiance of just delicious air conditioning, wear my long sleeve shirt, and talk about my best winter adventure ever. In 4th grade, the Snow Fort Wars. So I would always get into fights with other, like, boys at school, like physical fights where, like, my arms would get, like held behind my back and I would get punched, and I would go and fight with the other boys. I was so not feminine at all. And so in 4th grade, I was fed up with this group of boys who every single year would go and build a snow fort, and they would hire out all of the other students to go help them build up this awesome snow fort. And then as soon as it was done and it was like fortified with like rocks and shit, they would just kick everybody out and they wouldn't allow anybody in because it was their project. They were the leaders, alright, and they didn't allow anybody in. So me being this little, like, Revolutionary War hero, I, like, took it upon myself to, like, try and hire out everybody else first and build my own snow fort, like a rival snow fort. It started out somewhat innocent, but shit went down really fast. So us being like little 4th graders, everybody was like crazy in love with the idea of rival snow forts. Like, it was just this amazing idea. And so, like, at first, it really seemed to be working. Like, I had like 10, 15 other children helping me while they just had their 3 over there, because I explained my little, you know, philosophy of we need to take down these bad people who are always doing these things, and it really worked. And so for like the first, like, I think 4 days, everything was just working smoothly. We were making really good progress and they had like nothing. And then the bribery started. The other 3 boys, they started bribing other people with like food and like little snacks at lunchtime to go help with their fort instead of mine. So I started losing followers, and I started being like, well, don't you see what they are doing? Don't you see what their agenda is? They're just gonna kick you out. They're gonna be little assholes like they have been every single year of our lives. And they're like, yeah, we really don't care. We just want our pudding cups. And I was getting so frustrated. And then once it was kind of more evenly matched and we were both like groups, I had it was these 3 boys. They shall remain unnamed. They were like the powerhouse of one, and then it was me and my friend Brad, who I like named as like my general. So it was like Brad and I versus these 3 guys, and we were just trying to, like, you know, rally forces, and it was a really, really bad deal. So then, but everything was still like innocent. The only things that we were like angry at each other was who had more followers at one point or whatever. But then at nighttime, things started getting a bit more serious. We would come to school and some of the snow fort parts would be destroyed. We weren't sure if it was the middle schoolers who were like a block away, you know, who were coming at night and destroying our stuff, or we all suspected that it was each other, that we were sneaking out at night. So, you know, I'm trying to tell my people, it's like, you cannot go and destroy their stuff, and the other guys are, you know, we were like lifting up chunks of snow and like offering like huge, like valuable parts that could easily like make our fort huge, and be like, here, have a peace treaty. So we don't go and destroy each other. You know, we were handing back and forth little you know, very World War I tensions building, that sort of thing, but they're still peaceful. But all the while, we're still like, you know, big chunks of rocks we would pour like hot water all over it so that it would freeze at nighttime and like turn into solid ice, so that if you tried to like kick it apart, it just would not work. And so we just kept like building it up and up and up and up and just trying to make it more and more solid so that the other people every night couldn't go and like knock it down. And then the spying started. We would send, both powerhouses would send spies to the other side to find out if there was plans to go out at night and go knock down the other people's fort. So I did this. I would like say, all right, you two, we're gonna have to pretend to fight, and then you go over there and you pretend that you are fed up with me and you are joining their side to see if they're planning anything. And it worked. It worked. I was able to actually stop them from coming over and like completely destroying it, because they were planning to like ask like the younger children to, you know, because it was all the 4th graders together. They were starting to recruit like 5th graders, and I was able to like find out ahead of time. And then one point it got really, really bad. This kid from the other side, it was during lunchtime, grabbed my general, Brad. Like, it was like during lunch, he took like these, we had these like red slushy things that they sold us at lunch, and Brad had glasses, and like, this kid like shoved like slushy all over in his face to try and get information. Trying to get information about the snow fort, like what I was planning to do if I was planning to go out and do this to them. It was so bad. And so, while we're actually in class, we have these like big windows in the 4th grade classrooms where you could like look out and you could like watch the other kids at recess, and so all of us were just constantly just like watching our own snow forts to see if other kids are doing it. And the teachers started getting like really, really angry because nobody, you know, it was at least like 20 of the 30 kids were all just constantly watching the window just to see what was going on with the snow forts. And while we were outside, you know, some of the little girls, they would love, you know, we don't want to get involved in this war. Like the 10 kids who weren't involved, a lot of them were just like little girls, and they just wanted to like build snowmen. They just wanted to build little snow castles and just play in the snow like good little girls, not like me. So, like, when they were done, they'd finished, I would send out raiding parties to go take apart the little kids' snowmen. So these poor little girls who would go out and build snowmen, I would send out raiding parties to go and like lift up and just like disassemble their snowmen and take them and steal them and like pack them into my snow fort. And it was getting so bad, nobody could focus on anything when like people were getting like physically attacked for just information on the snow forts. The principal literally stepped in, called every single one of the 4th and 5th graders down into like the gym, and had this huge discussion in front of us. She didn't point out anybody, or she didn't like point out any names or whatever. She was saying, this is ridiculous, this is not how we act in this school, we need to stop now. Nobody is allowed to make snow forts in this school anymore. And for 2 more years, nobody was allowed to make snow forts. I ruined that amazing fun time for everybody in that entire school of like 1,000 students for making snow forts for 2 years. It just goes to show how passionate or stupid I can be. And that is the glorious epic tale of the Snow Fort Wars. So if you like stories like that, please tell me. I'm sure I have plenty others that I would love to tell you, and I hope that you enjoyed. And so, yeah, moving on. Just move on from this, please.